NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Ahmed Hassanein.
Yes! Yes! Bro, Chad, I'm telling y'all. Yo, I'm telling y'all. What do I got to do, baby? What do we got to do? He's top of the board. He's top of the board, bro. They playing the board. They're fiddling with him, bro. We ain't reaching, dog. You know what I mean? We ain't reaching, bro. That's a money pick, dog. All right, now I got to pop the board on the screen. Oh, that was edge. The red ones are obviously already been selected. Obviously, these top 20 were already selected too, so all these guys are out. But the top one's right here. Hassanein was sitting right there. And this is great because it gives him a lot more girth, you could say, to that edge position. It gives him a little bit more power. It's going to be a power player that they're going after here. Okay, so Ahmed Hassanein. I don't know. He's 6 foot. He's 6'2", 267 pounds. On my comp, in terms of build, he reminded me of Moro Ojomo. Y'all remember him out of Texas? He got drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. He reminded me of that. His arms aren't super long, 32.25 inches. Very powerful, 27 bench press reps, which makes sense based on that. He had the 4.77 40-yard time, which is really strong as well. But the standout here was this. As terms of play strength, I gave him a very good grade. It stood out to me. He's super powerful as a player. His get off is closer to average for me, so I'm assuming his relative athletic score is not going to shine. It's closer to average to me there. So slightly below average is what I actually put it at. And I put his pass rush at slightly below average. But where we're at on the board, that's kind of the case for every edge rusher that I have left. That said, though, I even wrote in a little note underneath, get this guy inside. Let him get inside, let him rush. So I think that this is someone that kind of fits the mold of typically what they go after a little bit more. I think it kind of dials everything together a little bit. But the big positive is this. This has become a consistent theme now with the Lions. Agility. I don't know what the heck his RES score was there, but I can tell you this. I gave him a very good grade in terms of agility. Big, powerful dudes that are agile in short spaces. Those dudes stand out to the Lions. We're seeing it. All the trenches guys that can move in a short area, those guys tend to stand out on the defensive side of the ball, and I had that. That was one of my stronger grades, is the agility that he played, the redirectability that he could work with in coverage, the wide base, the foot quickness that he played with when you put him inside, which became a problem for interior offensive linemen, specifically at the top of the rush. That short area footwork, bro. And a dude that's built like that. He's a little bit stouter to the ground. He's a little bit heavy. He's got a big punch to him. His hand usage needs a lot of work from what I have, which is closer to a poor/below average type of grade. And also, just shedding blocks is also below average for me as well. He's obviously super strong. He can kind of latch guys, create a strong grip, kind of control blocks if he gets a good entry. The problem with that is I don't think he adapts incredibly well. He doesn't always replace his hands to take on technique. All that can be a little bit messy. But you get him inside, you let him rush, use that lateral quickness. That's why I had it there. See, now I'm looking back. It's bringing back all of these things. The reason I'm saying get inside is because he's agile. It's short area movement skills for a big body. Those guys work inside. They're tough to match up with because then they also have, and I'm sure I wrote it on here, is they have the contact balance. And I did. Contact balance when the offensive tackle is late. So an offensive tackle is trying to get out, recover. He's got the contact balance to play through punches, continue to work as a pass rusher. And that works on the interior. So those guys really are who the Lions are typically going after. And I think what this makes this pick makes so much sense for them specifically because he's got a discipline to his game. So he works down the line of scrimmage well there. I don't love, again, the shed ability because sometimes it felt like he was closing his eyes, like he wasn't seeing what was happening. So it was like one of those numbers. I'm just going to throw myself into guys. But he plays with low pad level. He continues to work beyond the play in terms of his vision. He kind of presses down the line of scrimmage to showcase that discipline as well. Plays with leverage, settles into the mesh point. He was super disciplined. If you watch him, every time there was a read option, some sort of mesh point, he settled himself down. He wasn't overrunning plays. He would really stay disciplined in those spots. So for me, I look at this as just simply best player available for the position. 10% pass rush win rate and a 6.3% run stop rate. He just stood out, man. Athletically, he stood out. He fits what the Lions are going after here. And now it opens him up with 2 more picks where it's like, okay, we can try to go anywhere really else here, but this just fits them. And it stood out. He had a little bit of a gap on my next edge defender, as y'all saw by the rankings there. So, yeah, this is absolutely a Brad Holmes type of edge rusher here and relatively new to the sport, right? So there's that background as well. This is fantastic. This is the second straight pick to me where the position that they drafted at, the player that they drafted was incredibly high within that positional group. Both picks today, both Miles Frazier and Ahmed, I'm gonna go with that. We'll see. We'll figure it out later. Both those guys were super high within their category. Both of them just stood out like a sore thumb, man.
I know this is why I actually recorded this video a little bit later, is because I was trying to find my notes on this player. I was like, I have them. Where are they? I can't do it without it because I don't know where to put him on this list. But I found him. All right, that's why we're here. We found him. All right, we're good. Another guy that tested incredibly well, the 27 bench press reps, on top being 6'2", 267 pounds. The length is still a little bit above 32 inches. The production isn't as eye-popping as maybe some of these other players. Play strength, that's incredibly noticeable when you watch him. And that's kind of the thing that I think you're betting on with this piece, as well as the fact that he has some real agility to his game as well. Those are two things that I think you could buy into. To me, he works to leverage out his hips at the point of attack. He fires into kind of half-man opportunities as a rusher, which allows you to kind of just get an edge, push forward, create pocket push specifically. I think he drives through those top of rush positions really well specifically. But for me right now, I think that his pass rush is slightly below average, his ability there, but I like him a lot more on the inside. I think the more consistently you get him on the inside with that agility, that short area quickness, and also his ability to play with power and play through contact, I think if you're kicking him in the inside, you could find some early value as a sub-package rusher. Outside of that, though, I don't think he's going to be a consistent outside rusher, at least early on within his career, because he loses some of that momentum when he gets punched off his reps. He's trying to work on the outside. Opening angles on entry is also a little bit hit and miss as well. But he's got an effective crossover movement, that he could tap into. He absorbs contact, right? You'll see that on stunts. So I would put him on the interior and kind of let him go to work there specifically. He's got some quickness when he's working laterally. He's got a heavy punch that he can deliver. And you see his hand usage, which to me is below average. It's closer to a poor grade at times for me when I had him. But ultimately, it's a really strong below average spot for me. There's a discipline when he works his entry. He has control when he works into contact. There needs to be more development here beyond kind of just getting into the rip. I don't think there's like a starting move or something that he actually attacks with first to consistently open up the rip as kind of the secondary. Let me finish the quarterback. Feels like sometimes he just kind of gets right through the rip move, and that's all that's there. I don't think there's always a great plan as a rusher specifically. There's a two-handed swipe that he can get it to a little bit, but that to me is just average in terms of consistency. But it's the play strength that he brings with. You put him on the inside, you buy into the athleticism, the agility that he brings to the table. And his first step to me is slightly below average, but that's something that can translate, especially towards the interior. Potentially could look a little bit better as well because, he can change pace. He has some of that buildup where he can go from not moving to kind of building up speed pretty quickly. Now, that may be better from a wider alignment, but I think it can also allow you to get through contact pretty quickly because you can change and charge and build up that speed a little bit for me as well. I think off the ball, it's a little bit more build up than it's sudden. So I would put him on the inside to pass rush, but as a run defender, tie in the play strength there, and you also look at the fact that, all right, hands need some work, shed ability probably needs some work here as well, but the build is something that we really like. I think that's a day 3 pick written all over it, but he comes in at 21.